We come together for a moment out of time in a place made holy by our presence, to celebrate what is deepest and most true, to honor the beauty of our own heart's longing, to cultivate wonder, imagination, and the courage to act, and to care for one another. Please light your chalice. Our common chalice is now lit.
Come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come. Come, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of disbelieving, ours is no yet again of despair. Come yet again, whoever you are, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan ever is leaving, wanderer, worshiper, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, lover of leaving, ours is no caravan ever is leaving, ours is no caravan ever is leaving, ours is no caravan of leaving, ours is no caravan of despair. Come yet again, come.
Welcome to Church of the Larger Fellowship for the month of December. Our theme this month is giving and receiving, and all that this entails. Sometimes the gift we are talking about this month is listening, and the gift of being in someone's presence fully and completely. And sometimes this month we're talking about the gift of the intangibles, the gifts that we get that you can't see but are so meaningful. And we are also talking about the complexity of the season and how to navigate all of the gift giving in a time of darkness and reflection. So come, let us worship together. Whoever you are, whomever you love, wherever you are on life's journey, whether you are with us for the first time or you have been a member of CLF for years, welcome. As we meet together across time and space, we create a community of worship, sacred time. Thank you for being with us this month, tonight, and always. Now, let us worship together.
Let us now pause for a moment of deepening together as a community, for we each carry within us joys that are too great for one heart to hold, sorrows that are too much for one heart to endure, local and world events which call upon us to bear witness. Let us begin by recalling the joys, whatever you may be celebrating or whatever evokes a feeling of happiness or peace for you or for others. Now let us recall our concerns and sorrows, whatever you or the world may be holding that is in need of our healing and caring thoughts. In the heart of love and in the spirit of prayer, we give thanks for this time together, where joys can be magnified and sorrows can be lessened. Blessed be.
I invite you now to enter into a time of prayer together. A time set apart from the everyday, where we can center ourselves here in this community and bring to mind our intentions for the month ahead. This is a season of chaos, a lot of times, a season where we have great expectations and our to-do lists are long, so long that it's almost impossible to get everything done. And we want to create memories and it can be a lot of pressure that we put on ourselves. But often, what it is that we're looking for in this season is connection. What I often am looking for at Christmas time and during the holidays is a sense of oneness with the universe, with my community, with all that I hold as sacred, with my family. And keeping that in mind is important for me when my to-do list gets really long and the expectations pile up. So let us take a moment now to call to mind what it is that we are really hoping for in the month ahead. And you're free to close your eyes if you feel called to do so. What is it that we would like from this season? Whatever holiday you celebrate, what is it that you want to experience? And how can your to-do list serve that intention? I want to lift up all that we are hoping for, all that we wish for this season. May our to-do lists serve the purpose of our higher selves, of that which we are setting our intentions for today. May you feel the real blessings of this season. May you find peace and spaciousness and joy. May you remember what it is that really serves you, what it is that you are really called to experience and be and do this season. And may we all be blessed with the strength to bring that to bear for ourselves, for our families. And I want to say a little prayer for all of those who enter into this season with pain and with loss. We hold in our hearts this month all of those memories and all of those hurts alongside the joy. Joy and pain are woven fine during this season. And may we have the strength, may we have the presence to hold it all. Amen, and blessed be.
Welcome into the holiday season, to Advent, to midwinter, to what is most pressingly known as the holiday shopping season, which runs, of course, from Black Friday through the day after Christmas when you return stuff. It is, of course, easy to feel cynical about the shopping season, about the pressure to give and to buy and to surround yourself with the stuff of shopping malls. And of course, more of us than not are stressed about the money that we don't have that we're supposed to be spending on gifts. And we're likely stressed about the time that we don't have that we're supposed to be spending on gifts. But it's worth giving a little time to this notion of giving and receiving. After all, there's much to love about the process of giving, of thinking about what will give joy to the people that you love, of imagining the face of someone opening the perfect present and realizing that you have truly seen them. There's much to love about taking the time to think about who you're connected to, how you're connected, how you can make them happy, how you can reinforce that connection through giving, through generosity. There's something to love about living in that spirit of generosity, of abundance. And there's something to love about receiving, about the surprise of something that you never knew you wanted, about being recognized, about knowing that someone has thought about you, about living in that moment where you don't, as so often, think about what it is that you deserve or what it is that is enough, but just take pleasure in something that's given in the spirit of love, in the spirit of joy, something that's not about what you deserve, but about what you have, about what you're given. The theological name for that is grace. But let's get real. The joy of giving and receiving is far from unadulterated. We live in this frantic season with a pile of expectations around giving. The calculus of who gave you what last year and who expects what, and the pressure of needing to spend money or time that you don't have, and all of that weight of stuff, of being surrounded by the advertising and the jingles and the sales and the pressure to get and to pass on. And the receiving is not without its issues as well, not without its expectations, and there are gifts that come, with strings attached. Expectations that you are supposed to fulfill because this thing was handed to you. And there's the discomfort of knowing the ecological cost of all of this stuff that is produced so that you can hand it over to somebody else who then has to figure out what to do with it. So how do we live in this complicated season? How do we make our way through this morass of giving and receiving, of pleasure and awkwardness and discomfort? I think that there's no perfect solution, but there's kind of maybe a path that comes from trying to track joy through the woods. It comes from being willing to take the time to look at the expectations and maybe challenge them a bit. Maybe your siblings would be just as happy to make charitable gifts in each other's names or exchange letters about childhood memories rather than the pressure to find the right thing. Maybe your spouse or partner would be just as happy to choose a theater event to go to rather than trying to add to an already crowded household. Maybe some of the expectations come more from you than from the people that you think are the origins, and when you challenge those expectations, you can find out. You can move from expectation and obligation toward joy, toward the spirit of giving and receiving. And I will say that there are no doubt times when it's just not going to work to challenge those expectations. They are set in stone and the cost of challenging them is too high, in which case I say, do a thing and move on. Personally, I'm a big fan of the online shopping where they wrap it for you and mail it, and it never passes through your house at all. Sometimes that's just what needs to happen. But there are ways to move toward the joy, to take the time to think about what brings a smile, what makes you feel connected, what makes you able to express to another person how you know them, how you care about them. And there are ways to find your way into receiving in that joy, to ask yourself, what is it that I want? What is it that I could give myself that no one else could give me? An hour with a good book, a chance to cry in the bathtub, a moment of just sitting with darkness and little twinkling lights. It might be what you need to receive. But I would suggest, even beyond following joy, that there is something even more elusive that you could try to track through this midwinter forest. And that's the holy, the sacred, the things that make you feel connected to love. Love bigger and bigger, love wider and wider. Perhaps it's the traditions of your childhood. Perhaps it's in giving to someone that you don't know or to a cause that you care about. Perhaps it's in offering yourself freely with no expectation of what comes back in return. It might look like candles or lamps or songs. It might look like baking or silence or prayer. It might look like creating something of you to give to someone that they receive, in knowing that we are connected, in knowing that this season comes round to ways to find our way into giving and receiving the greatest gift, which is always love.
Giving a donation is like sharing love, you know? It's showing you care.
I've given these cookies out I don't even know how many times. They're like a secret weapon of mine.
I have been homeless a few times, and the one thing that I found was when I was able to find something that I could put on that was new, it lifted my spirits.
Have you ever given anything to someone that really made you feel happy?
Yeah, I've donated stuff to a shelter. I gave away my Nemo.
I like to give away food because I like to get food.
I remember this one time, this guy asked for money, and my dad said, no, I can't give you any money, but I can buy you something to eat. Then we got him something to eat, and then about 10, 15 seconds after, another person saw what my dad did and bought him another meal.
My fiance is Cuban, and she loves these little pastelitos from our favorite Cuban bakery, so I bought a bunch of them to give out. They're our favorite thing to give away. Everybody loves them.
I am going to give all these comforters and pillowcases.
A doll.
Summer maxi dress, great for the warm weather.
I know every gift comes from a store, but it really comes from the heart.
It's important to give because the world is unequal and unfair, and some people have more than other people.
If you don't give of yourself and try to do the best you can, then you're not fulfilling your life at all. You have to give to receive.
I think the really important thing about giving is to not have the expectation of getting something in return, because at that point you're not giving, you're like making a trade.
It just pays off because you see the rewards of your giving.
It makes me feel connected to like the rest of the universe in a way.
The more I give back, the more I get in life.
Anytime that I can share something of myself to help somebody out, it makes me feel good.
I come from a huge Italian family, and food is everything in our family, so that's why I like to bake for my friends and show them how much I care and just kind of give a piece of myself through my cooking.
But I love giving my heart.
Giving love.
I had been experiencing financial trouble, and a friend of mine just sent me a check, and it was just like amazing.
Even tiny things change lives.
I brought some shoes that I have never worn, and they're brand new shoes, and I just grew out of them. Dino and a unicorn.
These are old shirts.
So I brought my best sweater. Hope somebody will be able to enjoy it.
It's my guardian angels that have gotten me through what I've gotten through. Somebody and something is given to me, and I want to give it back.
4 thumbs up.
And now we come to that time in our service when we extinguish the flames that we've lit for this special time set apart. But never do we extinguish the flame that burns eternal. The flame of love, the flame of our commitment to a just and caring world. If you carry that flame, please touch your heart and say to yourself, I carry the flame, and allow that flame to burn bright.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, yeah, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I got the light of peace and love, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, I got the light of peace and love, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, I got the light of peace and love, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine. All in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. All in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. All in my home, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. I've got the light of freedom, I'm gonna let it shine. Oh, the light of freedom, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, I've got the light of freedom, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Shine, 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 shine. Shine, just let it shine. Yeah, shine, 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 shine. Shine, just let it shine. Yeah, shine, 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 shine. Shine, just let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Yeah, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine.
Thank you.